Assalamualaikum. Dear students, my name is Sagir Ahmed and we are starting unit number 1 of mathematics of class 10. Unit number 1 is quadratic equation. So first of all we define what is quadratic equation. Everyone know what is equation? So we discuss here what is quadratic. The word quadratic is derived from the word quad, Q-U-A-D, quad, which is a Latin word which means two. So what is quadratic equation? An equation in which the degree of that equation is 2 is called quadratic equation. Now we define it properly. Its definition is an equation which contains the square of the unknown variable quantity but no higher power is called a quadratic equation. You know that an algebraic equation involves unknown variables like x, y, z. If these unknown variables have square but no higher power is called quadratic equation. Means there must be the power is 2 and the power is not 1 or higher. It must be 2, then it is called quadratic equation, and when we take its example then its define will be clear. Its second definition is an equation of the second degree is called quadratic equation. What is degree? The highest power in any equation of variable is called degree. If the degree of any equation is 2, then it is called quadratic equation. Now we discuss its standard form. Is standard ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is called standard form or general form of quadratic equations, where a is not equal to 0 and a, b, c are real numbers. When in paper there is a question of quadratic equation, define quadratic equation, then you must write its standard form and you must write a is not equal to 0. So question arises, why a is not equal to 0? If a is equal to 0, then standard form of quadratic equation becomes 0x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Sorry, here you place plus c. If a is equal to 0, then in this standard form we put a is equal to 0 and we get 0x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. When we put 0x square, when 0 multiplied by x square, it becomes 0 and we get bx plus c is equal to 0. Here the degree is 1, means highest power of variable in this equation is 1. X raised to power is 1, so its degree is 1. So it reduces to linear equation. So if a is equal to 0, then it not will be quadratic. The quadratic equation will be reduced into linear equation. That's why we write a is not equal to 0 in definition. Now we take some examples of quadratic equations. I write here 4 equations. Anybody can tell which is quadratic and which is not. First is quadratic equation because its degree is 2. Quadratic equation, it is cubic equation because highest power of variable is 3, so its degree is 3 So it is not quadratic, it is cubic equation. Third one is also quadratic equation. Fourth one is not quadratic equation, it is linear equation because highest power is 1. Now we define pure quadratic equation. If b is equal to 0 in quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, then it is called pure quadratic equation. If we put b is equal to 0, then it is called pure quadratic equation. The examples of pure quadratic equations are 4x square plus 10 is equal to 0, 3x square is equal to 11. You can see there is no x term in these examples because when we put b is equal to 0, then x term becomes 0. Now we are starting exercise 1.1. Question number 1 is write the following quadratic equations in standard form and point out pure quadratic equation. In question number 1, we have there are 6 quadratic equations, 6 questions of quadratic equations which are not in standard form. We have to write them in standard form, and if any is pure quadratic equation, then we mention in question that this is pure quadratic equation. Part number 1 is x plus 7 into x minus 3 is equal to minus 7. Now we solve it. Here we multiply x by x minus 3, we get x square minus 3x. Then we multiply 7 by x minus 3, we get 7x minus 21 is equal to minus 7. Next, in third step, we add these same terms. In fourth step, here is equal to minus 7, but in standard form of quadratic equation, the right hand side is equal to 0. So we put minus 7 on the left side. So minus 7 become plus 7 on the other side of equal. Now here you can subtract and add minus 21 plus 7 because these are like terms. When we subtract 7 from 21, we get minus 14. This is required standard form of quadratic equation. This is not pure quadratic equation because the b is the coefficient of x, that is equal to 4, not 0. That's why it is not pure quadratic equation. It is just standard form of quadratic equation. So first of all, we multiply these two algebraic expressions, we get this. Then we add like terms, we get 4x. Then as in standard form of quadratic equation, the right hand side is equal to 0. So we put minus 7 on the other side of equal. We get plus 7. And here we get x square plus 4x minus 14, that is equal to 0. This is required standard form of quadratic equation. This is not pure quadratic equation. This is part number 1. The next 5 parts are same like this. If you have any problem in next 5 steps, then tell me today. Then I add those questions in the next lecture. If all questions are solvable by you, then we solve question number 2. If any, I say again, if any problem in next 5 parts of question number 1, tell me, I add those questions in the next lecture. Otherwise, we do question number 2. Thank you.